It's a 8:15 and it's a beautiful Wednesday morning. My name is Ruben and I'm joined by Mike. Today we have Chan, then we talk about the Ocean Open. From there we shall cross over to Europe. Javier Mascherano might be on the verge of leaving Barcelona. I don't know whether he's going to come to Express FC to play here as well, or who's going to join Arsenal, because Arsenal is actually looking at getting Express players. And then of course we'll talk about Phil Neville being appointed, given a role there in England, as well as the transfer gossip. Who is going where? Lassana Diarra has signed for PSG and is able to return to the Eiffel Tower. That is in Paris. Before I go any further, let me go to my partner in crime, Rwandaga Mike, as we proceed. Mike.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm just so fine. Having got some news via the night, whereby one gentleman in Andemwesigwa came out to say that he has retired officially from football. I was really
What has he been doing?
No, you know, he was a Cranes captain some years ago, whereby we can't just forget him because he managed to score 8 goals in over 12 years.
Why I asked you, Michael, Mexico was dropped after the game against Guinea when we lost when he actually lost the man down and was sent off and considered a goal. So since then, I thought he had retired.
No, he hadn't.
So the press conference he called was for what?
He had retired under the FIFA scrutiny, but he hadn't retired officially as a player. So he came out yesterday to say that he's now going to embark onto the youth to make sure he builds some talent that is that is.
But which talent can he build when he didn't have any talent in him?
No, probably he had some talent, because if you can play for if you can play under coaches like Mohamed Abbas, then Laszlo Zaba,
then Sam Timbe,
then Timbe also coming through, and not forgetting our brother in Jackson Mayanja. All these managers gave him an opportunity. So I think he was one great player for the Cranes, having helped us make it to the Sekafa finals a couple of times. He managed to score only 8 goals in the whole of his Cranes career. So it was kind of disappointing for him to score very few goals, but I'm so happy he officially retired. So he's not going to disorganize the coaches anymore. You don't give me a national team call up. I haven't yet retired, so we are not going to have any more stories of that kind.
But before you talked about your day yesterday, I was going to ask you about the colors, because you know I'm color blind. I was talking to Eddie Mwesi, the man with the biggest head in the world. Okay. About the colors. So you can share with me. Is it hot pink or? You know, it is cold pink.
I find problems that they are differentiating, because when it comes to the issue of hot and cold, yeah, I tend to fail because I don't feel the warmth in the hot pink.
In the hot pink.
Yeah.
No, actually, baby pink. Is it baby pink?
Probably. Probably.
Well, let's start with Chan, Michael. We had games yesterday that ended, and Nigeria did beat Equatorial Guinea by 3-1, and Libya won against Rwanda by 0-0. Uganda Uganda was supposed to be getting back today. That's the Cranes, because they drew with the Cote d'Ivoire. That means they gotten 1 point and they have to return home. Their food is done, because we know with the CAF, once you are beaten, your food, unless you have the money to take care of yourself. But if you can't, if you are beaten, you can only stay in the tournament when you are still playing, and the CAF can facilitate. The moment you are beaten, like Uganda was beaten 3-1, 1-0, then a draw, you just come back home.
Yeah, what I think is that all Uganda had to fight for in that fixture up against Cote d'Ivoire was to make sure they get that bonus of having finished third. They had to get a bonus of over $25,000, which I think they got very well, and they are going to be coming back to the country in less than 4 to 5 days. But looking at the games that were played yesterday, we had games played in Group C, where we had our own Rwanda, which was representing East Africa largely, also being dropped out. We saw Rwanda losing to Libya, and this was one of the games that really caught my eye. When you look at the Libyan side, they don't seem to be so good when it comes to the game of football, but they can disappoint you when you get on pitch. We saw them winning their very first game. It was a 3-0 win for the Libyans, and here they come yet again to play up against a Pesi Rwanda side, and they managed to get that lone goal that took them to the second position behind Nigeria. But also Nigeria put up a stunning performance up against Equatorial Guinea in that fixture, where we saw Equatorial Guinea taking the lead. And after some few minutes, we saw a great gentleman from the Nigerian Super League coming out to prove a point, to outscore the opponent in the second half. We saw the first half ending 1-0 in favor of Equatorial Guinea, but the Nigerians and their coach had to up their game and strengthen their mentality.
A powerful header.
Yeah, by the Equatorial Guinea gentlemen. You know, they were lying last on the log, and they thought they would at least collect the 3 points. But Nigeria was too good for them on the day.
Well, you saw this coming. Guinea is not a team that you can rely on when it comes to beating the big boys. So losing against Nigeria is not something you can blame the boys for, because they give their all. But Nigeria were too good to handle them. However, from that, Michael, let's go to Australian Open, where we have a couple of results there. But take us to the Australian Open, Michael.
Yeah, in the Australian Open, we've already got to the quarter-final stage where a gentleman like Rafael Nadal have already got their chance to play, and as we speak right now, Rafael Nadal has already failed to make it to the semi-finals. We've seen him being defeated by a gentleman in Mario Cilic, who came out to win in one of the games that I really thought was eye-catching.
Nadal complaining to say that the hip problem has actually been disturbing him, so he retires from tennis. And I'm like, no, you wouldn't have gone. The boys that come up to learn how to beat you up. So not to get ashamed with the wags around the Hisense Arena. He had to come out and say, I've retired. But what a great player he has been for tennis and for the world at large.
True. When you look at Rafael Nadal, he's been the top seed when it comes to the game of tennis, that is in the men's category. But I think this game that he had to play up against Cilic was one of those that I really think he has never thought of having in his entire career. When you look at the sets, he managed to win the first set, he lost the second, he won the third and lost the fourth, whereby it was the difference of the tiebreak that really made him feel the injury was trying to make him fail to continue with the game. But a gentleman in Cilic had a great game in this one, whereby he kept on upping his game every set that went by. But here comes another gentleman in Edmund who has also made it to the semi-finals, a gentleman who is representing Great Britain very well. He managed to win up against the third seed, that is Dimitrov. It was 4-6 in the first set and 6-3 in the second set, 3-6 in the third and 4-6 in the fourth set. He has made it to the semi-finals. Today we are going to be enjoying the last quarter-final, that is between Badic and Roger Federer.
Thomas Badic.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing the gentleman from that is the Czech Republic coming out to take on the Swiss, and we are going to be enjoying one of the greatest encounters when it comes to the men's category in the that is Australian Open.
But what about the ladies category? Wozniacki and Keba, how did they perform?
Keba has already also made it to the semi-finals of the ladies category, and the same applies to Wozniacki, the second seed in the ladies category. She managed to win up against Suarez Navarro, and the same applied to Keba, managing to win up against the American Keys. The 17th seed lost the 2 sets. It was a 6-1, 6-2 for the German lady, that is Angelina Keba. So we are going to be enjoying the last quarter-final that will be Pliskova. Will be taking on the second seed in Simona Halep. So we are going to be enjoying more tennis today, whereby Federer and Simona Halep will gain action.
I feel for your friend Gabi Muguruza, who could not make it to the finals. The same applies to players like Serena Williams, who were beaten in the first round and had to pack their bags and go back home.
We still have the Roland Garros ahead. We still have the British Open. We have the French Open. So I think Gabi Muguruza will get back to her feet and compete. And
I would love to watch Dominika Chibrukova get back to the tour, watch her play on that court. For me, she's the best woman I've watched play tennis besides Martina Hingis and Steffi Graf. They never won the trophies won by Serena, the stamps won by Serena. But in terms of entertainment, beauty, and excitement,
what about
Sharapova?
Sharapova is also
that one is a drug addict anyway. But away from that, anyway, just kidding. Away from that, Michael, Javier Mascherano, the man who played for West Ham, Liverpool, as well as Corinthians, is leaving Barcelona. And when you look at what he has achieved as a player, actually look at this. I'll read in Latino. He says, "Gracias, Mache." but I don't know whether you understand Latino. Maybe I will translate to you later.
That is good luck, Mascherano.
Okay.
Yeah, gracious.
I'm happy. You can know you have some Latin lessons. I thought you only have French lessons.
No, I went through the Abacus teachers facility, whereby he managed to give me lessons of French, German, Italian, Spanish. Yeah, so kudos to Mr. Lawrence Mulindwa, the doctor.
Okay.
Yeah,
the doctor.
Yeah, he became a doctor of research.
Don't just come here and start calling people doctors.
Hey.
A doctor of what?
I don't know very well, but he was given those ranks in some university.
Well, Mascherano, the Argentine defender, is actually to leave Barcelona after almost 8 years and is expected to join Chinese Super League. Aside that is Hebei China Fortune. The 33-year-old former Liverpool star, West Ham, and Corinthians legend, that's Mascherano, has announced that he's going to be leaving Barcelona. He won 18 trophies at the Camp Nou, including 4 La Liga titles and 2 Champions League trophies. I mean, just look at the luck he had Mascherano, winning 4 La Liga trophies and 2 Champions League trophies. For me, I think that's good. That is enough for a player on a club level.
Yeah, sure. When you look at Mascherano's entire career, he has played for clubs like River Plate, who are so good in the South American leagues there. And then coming to Europe, he only played for Liverpool and West Ham, whereby I think if at all he hadn't gone to Barcelona, he wouldn't have lifted a single Champions League trophy. But here comes the Mascherano, who played up against some average players, and he also managed to up his game when he was playing alongside great players like Carlos Puyol. These are some of the players that have mentored Mascherano in that defensive position. And here comes the Chinese Super League, which is trying to market themselves very well. I love the fact that they run for some of these players who are aging to come and try to give a boost to their league. The same applies to the Indian Super League. They have run for players like Kezron Chizito, Dimitar Babatov.
Yes.
Yeah, they've all gone there to make sure that they
what about Hakim
they
Magumba?
Boost their game. Hakim Magumba Boda is still in Kampala because he has some services to offer to the Jogo Young.
So Michael, for the club River Plate, where he started his career, I've watched many stars come from River Plate. Diego Maradona, for example, came from River Plate, the academy there. And then you look at players like Juan Roman Riquelme and Seba Veron from Talda Plata went to River Plate and played there. Hernan Crespo as well. The same applies to Javier Saviola. So that River Plate team has got stars who have actually made it to greatness. For me, Marcelo Gallardo, who you might not have watched him play, but was one of the best products of that academy. So I think Mascherano has played his part, and he has really done enough. Scoring only 1 goal, that was the goal scored against Osasuna. And Rakitic honestly said, okay, Masche come. Look what Suarez said. You have always been dissing me to score goals. Now it's up to you.
Celebrating with you.
Look at Mascherano, you almost missed that penalty. You almost missed it.
I think that is the only goal he has this season.
In the 334 games, Mascherano scored 1 goal. But for me, the fact that Rakitic picked the ball and gave it to Javi Mascherano, then the bench uploading Iniesta and Suarez, we are telling him that you have always accused us of not scoring. Go and score it and you see if you are good enough.
We want to see how good you are when it comes to keeper to
it's your turn. It's your turn.
I can see even the coach,
Luis
Enrique, also wondering how come these guys have given a gentleman in Mascherano an opportunity. But you can get to see, by the time they gave him the chance to take the penalty, Barcelona was leading 5-1.
Okay.
So even if he would have missed that one, they wouldn't have made any kind of big loss.
Well, Michael, I am from Javi Mascherano. Let's go to the Carabao Cup. We have games today, and Chelsea will be taking on Arsenal in that London derby. But without Morata, I think Chelsea are toothless. They will not be biting too much, because just imagine if they had Morata up front and Eden Hazard are flying from all corners, how many goals they would score. But now with Michy Batshuayi, Arsenal can even be on the holiday. I mean, the defenders.
Yeah, what I like about Arsenal is that when it comes to such championships like the Carabao Cup, they don't respect the Carabao Cup at any moment. You'll see Arsenal coming up with a squad of reserve team players, which is so disappointing for a fan like me who wants to enjoy the game of football. I remember the last fixture that Morata featured in up against Arsenal. He wasted a couple of chances. We would have seen Chelsea win at least 5-0, but we saw Morata wasting very many keeper to beats up against Peter Cech. So I really think today, if he's absent, we shall have the great services of that is a gentleman gentleman in Michi Batshuayi.
Okay.
He will be out there to showcase whatever he has to
How
show.
about my friend Musonda?
Musonda is also into the team, but he has not yet picked form, because when you look at a gentleman in Antonio Conte, he does not just give you he cannot give you playing time just like that. You have to first of all prove a point in training before he can offer you such an opportunity.
But Mkhitaryan playing training for the first time with the Gunners.
Yeah.
And actually, I was talking to Felix and Sam, where I normally go for an evening talk, and actually they tell me that Mkhitaryan is one player who is going to start at Arsenal because of his skill and talent. And Mkhitaryan in his interview did say that he always loved to play for Arsene Wenger, because he thinks that he's a coach who can nurture players and get the best out of them. Okay. So I believe that Mkhitaryan is going to make it at Arsenal. Only that the Arsenal plays for mid-table. They don't play for trophies as Manchester United does. So that is the only thing that is going to disturb him. But regarding football, he's going to thrive at Arsenal.
But let me tell you something. If at all you have people like Mkhitaryan and Mesut Ozil onto one pitch, you just know you have come with a red card on pitch.
Yeah, because
these are two players who are so skillful, but they will never engage themselves into physical issues.
So you are 8 players. In super terms, you are 8 on the pitch.
You become 10 because even minus the goalkeeper, you become 9. So if at all you're playing up against a serious Man United side or probably Chelsea, you'll find problems because you'll be onto the receiving side every moment that goes by.
Well, other games away from the Carabao Cup, we have in Serie A, we have Lazio against Udinese. Then we have Sampdoria against AS Roma. That is the Serie A. So those who love the Serie A, just go and catch those games. They will be live on, actually it will be on Rai and Sky Italia. Those who love watching the Serie A, like me, I do watch the Serie A and I enjoy the technique there.
True. I was told you love a club called Benevento.
By who? You're told by who?
In the Serie A.
Is there anybody who speaks for me?
Yes, Professor Franco Ascani came out to tell me that a gentleman in Ruben Impima, who has always followed Zambrota and Co, really loves Benevento. So I have to ask you about
Professor
Benevento.
Just wants to get on me because Milan do with Benevento earlier in the season, and I wasn't happy with that result. So the professor wants to get back on me. I think it's Professor Solomon somewhere. But Lassana Dia joining PSG, and actually him saying that he's happy to be joining his boyhood club, that is a PSG. And I'm like, where have you been, Lassana Diarra? Why did you play for them if it was your boyhood club?
This is a big question to the gentleman in Unai Imre, the coach who is the coach who is working upon the signing of flopping players like Lassana Diarra. The last time Lassana Diarra performed was during his days in Real Madrid. I think those were the last days of his,
Chelsea.
No, but Chelsea was a poor performer. I think he was so good at Portsmouth and Real Madrid. Here comes Lassana Diarra, who was just left Swansea to come and join PSG. I wonder where the scouts are for the PSG side. These days they are just signing players for the sake.
They just want backup for the 3 guys, Raubio, Marco Verratti and Thiago Motta. Maybe you never can lose Thiago Motta because of his age, and you need a cover for that. So if you have last on the bench, you can always call upon him to come and play.
No, if at all you're looking for team depth, you don't remove a 35-year-old for a 34-year-old. That is no big difference, because if at all you take away Thiago Motta and probably try to cover him up with Lassana Diarra, that is one of the biggest mistakes you'll have ever made. Yeah, but he has been so good when it comes to the issue of tackling and anchoring in that midfield role, and I really think he won't perform so good, because we've seen great players at that is PSG. Players like Kuzawa, then great players like Rabiot, then Menez. We've seen a couple of them in the team there.
Okay, and for me, away from that, we should first go to Phil Neville, who has been given announced as the new head coach on until 2021 for the English women. So I think Phil Neville, his brother Gary went to Valencia and couldn't deliver. Now they therefore decided that this is not that these players used to play during their playing days, but they can only handle women.
Yeah, when you look at the Lionesses, I think they don't need that kind of experienced manager to come and help them out, because when you look at Phil Neville, he's one of the pundits of football, and I think he knows what to really do when it comes to the national team, and most especially in the ladies football. In the ladies football, you don't need a lot of physicality. All you need is the skill, because there are few ladies in this world who have that kind of skill. Just like here in Uganda, we have a lady that is Jean Seninde, yeah, who plays for the Crystal Palace ladies in England. And I really think these are some of the examples that we think are there to build the game when it comes to the ladies category.
Appointing Phil Neville for me is another issue I should iron tomorrow, because I don't think he was good enough as a player, and he hasn't been good enough as a coach. When he went to Valencia, but he did absolutely nothing.
You just have to give him that opportunity, because I think Phil Neville knows what to offer, most especially when it comes to tactics, because he's got the tactics from great managers like David Moyes. He has been, he has ever been under, that is a Fabio Capello, on the English national team. So I think he has some notes into him, and he can come up and give the ladies some tactics, and which they can use and become superior lionesses.
Unless you have something to say, Michael.
Yeah, all I can say is that we are yet going to watch the Copa del Rey. It is going to be returning to the screens today. We are going to be experiencing Real Madrid taking on, that is Lejanes. We are going to be seeing whether Cristiano Ronaldo is back to scoring ways, or is just masquerading today and the other day. The same applies to Gareth Bale. So it is today that we are going to be enjoying some of
well, thanks so much, Michael.
Good
see you again, and good to see you, by the way, fresh this morning.
Yeah, true. Thank you.
That's what we had, the time we had this morning. Coming up next is GMU Agenda. Good morning.